All right, y'all. So my work, it's still not done. We got one more rehousing to do. We have to house the 5 Poecilotheria Metallica that I got yesterday. In order for me to do that, I have to rehouse 2 other Poecilotheria that I have to free up those enclosures. Plus, I've spent most of the afternoon digging out old arboreal enclosures, taking all the old cork bark and substrate and all that stuff out, cleaning all the substrate out and everything, cleaning those enclosures, which if you've kept arboreal tarantulas, you know it's quite the task just cleaning the enclosures with the poop all over the glass and stuff. Had to re-moisturize all the substrate and everything and then start putting enclosures together. So this is going to be a 7 tarantula rehouse, all Poecilotheria. The first thing I'm going to do is rehouse the 2 Poecilotheria I have in these enclosures so I can free those up for the Metallicas. Then I will put all of the Metallicas in their new homes at once. So, like I always say, go get a snack and a drink. I'm going to get rearranged. Let's get started. Okay, so in here we have one of my Poecilotheria subfusca lowland females. I sold one a couple of weeks ago. I have 2 left. We're going to get this girl out and put her in a cup and then put her in the new house. And then we'll clean this one up for a Metallica later on. Typically, in a scenario such as this, obviously, I mean, like catch cups and things like that aren't going to work because everything is in the way. And knowing what I know about Poecilotheria and how timid they are and how much they want to hide, and the fact that I can kind of read them, I think what I'll do, like I did with the one that I sold, is just start by removing a lot of this stuff. Gives them a lot less stuff to hide in, around, behind, and underneath. And then it frees up more room to get your catch cup or bottle or whatever down in there to get it out. And pull this big chunk of webbing out of the way as well. Now, you notice she went straight down to the bottom and she just wants to hide. The biggest problem with these enclosures being top load only is access, obviously. So I try not to block the camera as much as possible. I'm going to try to work her into this. There we go. She went right into the bottle. Absolutely stunning tarantula species right there. I can't get over the fact that I own a couple of these. All right, so let me get her new enclosure and let's put her in it. All right, y'all, so here we go. I'm going to give you a look at her real quick before I put her in her enclosure. And I will say that this species of Poecilotheria has been one of the easier ones to work with. I mean, they're all kind of easy to work with. And some of them obviously are more skittish than others, but these guys have been absolute dreams so far. Now all I've got to do is just coax her backwards right down into that cork tube where hopefully she will establish herself a new home. You may notice that right now the enclosure is pretty bare bones. That's because I'm working with limited resources at the moment, but at least they've got the space, a place to hide. I'll put a water dish in there later on, and then eventually when I get some more fake foliage or leaf litter, I will add that. So there is the first Poecilotheria. We've got her moved. Let's put her up and let her settle in. All right, so here we go with P. subfusca number 2. Once again, we're just going to remove a lot of this decor and stuff. Just makes it easier, as I mentioned, to get them into a cup, because putting them in a cup is obviously the most efficient and safest method to transplant them from one enclosure to the next. Easier on you, safer on the animal. Those are always the 2 most important things. Now let's see if she'll go right up into the bottle like the other one did, or if she's going to give us some trouble. Trying to give her a little poke See if she'll just, nope, she's wanting to go underneath that substrate. Hold on, guys. All right, so I had to go in there with a spoon and carefully excavate the majority of the substrate that was there because she was trying to go underneath it. I'm hoping at some point she's going to want to go up. What did I do with my skewer? Hold on. Well, that was a major pain in the ass, but I finally got her in the cup. Let's see if we can get her to go in her enclosure. Pretty nice and easy. Here I was talking all these nice words about how easy they are to work with, and then she gave me so much crap just coming out of her enclosure. You may have noticed this whole time there has not been one threat posture or strike out of either one of these tarantulas that I have rehoused so far. But yet, Poecilotheria are so fast and dangerous that a lot of people don't want to keep them. Give me a break. Okay, y'all. Got these two ladies put up. I'm going to go ahead and clean up those enclosures, get all 5 enclosures ready, and then we're going to move some Metallicas. Okay, guys, so I've got all of the Metallica enclosures set up. Now, fingers crossed that all of these rehousings go well. I didn't think this out when I was putting them in the deli cup yesterday with that substrate, so I can't quite angle it like I would like it to, but there that one goes right down into its new home, at least for now. Not all of these spiders will stay with me permanently, and I will probably eventually get rid of some of these, but at least they're in a bigger space now. Let's move on to the next one. So here we go with the next one. Maybe it will move nice and easy for us and not be stubborn and not want to keep going into the enclosure. Once again, nice and easy. These guys are so fast and dangerous. LOL. Next. Okay, y'all. Poecilotheria metallica number 3. Once again, keeping our fingers crossed that we can get it out without too much trouble. They have all definitely calmed down a little bit since yesterday, so that's good. There we go. There's number 3. Let's get on to numbers 4 and 5. All right, so here we go with number 4. Let's see how this one goes. So far, so good. We're 3 for 3. Well, almost went in and then suddenly was like, nope. There we go. Down into your new home. Had that one way out of frame. Sorry about that. That is number 4. One more and we're done. Alright guys, so this is the last one and is the biggest one. I'm actually a bit concerned for this one. It may just be that it's just unhappy, but it has spent way too much time in what I consider a death curl. So I'm going to try to hurry up and get it in a larger enclosure. There we go. Right down in there. Now, as I mentioned, everything is kind of bare bones for now, but as we go along, I will add leaf litter, stuff like that, and there will be water dishes later on. But for now, the important thing was to get them into a permanent home so that everybody could feel safe and have some place to hide. And what I'm going to do with all of those enclosures, I'm going to put paper on 2 sides to darken this corner so that they will feel safe. Hopefully that will reduce their stress level and reduce the risk of them stressing themselves to death. I don't know if it's a real thing, but I'm going to try to prevent it. Once again, Raul, thank you very much for these beautiful animals. We've got them all put away. We're going to take the best care we can of them. And for the rest of y'all, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't done that. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless.